Action News Now Storm Tracker weather. Coverage you can count on.
As soon as I woke up this morning, I could feel it out there. You could hear it out there. Winds picking up all across our area. Chief Meteorologist Jason Stiff with us now. Jason, what are we looking at as we move into tonight?
Yeah, we still have a lot of wind, even for the overnight hours. Normally when we have the sun going down, a lot of that wind begins to weaken, but it's not going to be the case tonight. We're still going to have at least breezy weather, if not windy weather, from many locations around the valley, the foothills, and the mountains. Yeah, as you were mentioning, you don't usually hear a lot of wind early in the morning, but you could hear the leaves that are still on the trees rattling around, and we're not done with that sound. We're not done with that feel, but it's nice to have that blue sky. You can see Lassen Peak once again, a perfectly blue sky. First time we've had that in a long time, but the temperatures are not October-like at all. Still hot for this time of year, currently 91 degrees. The wind sustained in Chico at 25 miles an hour. We've had gusts earlier in the afternoon up to 35. Reading down to 89 degrees. The wind north-northeast at 10 miles an hour. Not quite as hot as it has been at lower elevations around the valley, but still a hot day for this time of year. Red Bluff, 91 degrees. Sustained wind of 15 miles an hour to the north-northwest. And Oroville, still a hot day for the middle of October, 91 degrees and 14-mile-an-hour wind. But unfortunately, the fire danger is going to be just as high as it has been. More windy and hot weather for Thursday. Highs tomorrow for the valley and foothills from the mid-80s to the mid-90s. Probably a little bit less windy, but not much. You may not even notice the difference. 15 to 25 miles an hour with gusts to 35, and the air will be really dry, which is why we have that red flag warning for the valley, the foothills, and most of the mountains. And it still lasts until 11 o'clock Friday morning with the very dry fuel, the dry, hot air, and that wind continues to blow. So don't do anything that could cause a fire. Anything that starts could spread rapidly. Temperatures vary greatly, though. 60s in the higher elevations, 70s, 80s, and lower 90s for the valley right now. Still awfully windy in many locations. The valley between 15 and 25 miles an hour. Not as windy for the mountains right now, but we'll have more of that wind tonight through tomorrow night. And I wish we had some rain clouds on our satellite and radar composite. They are just not in the forecast. Don't expect any appreciable amounts of clouds for the next 48 hours, and not much even through early next week. The wind is still going to be there with us for tonight and tomorrow. Still windy again tomorrow afternoon. Almost as windy as today. A lot of sustained wind between 15 and 25. Not quite as windy on Friday, but it will still be at least breezy. Thankfully, the wind will be weakening, though. By Saturday, not as windy, still almost as hot, and the temperatures are still going to be above average all the way through the middle of next week. And don't forget, we're doing your backyard forecast. This one for Dawn and Chico. A beautiful look at the pool. Expecting temperatures to be pool-like for tomorrow. You might want to take a dip in there, but we'll have some more windy weather at times also. Temperatures in the 80s and 90s. Thank you so much, Dawn, for sending that beautiful backyard photo in. And if you want to have your backyard forecast too, just email us your photo and send them to us via our actionnewsnow.com website. So here's your forecast for tomorrow. The northern mountains, 70s and 80s for highs. Still windy at times, but windier for the lower elevations too. For the Sierra and Cascades, 70s and 80s for highs tomorrow afternoon. After a cool morning with mainly 30s and 40s for overnight lows. The Ridge, unfortunately, lots of wind tonight through tomorrow afternoon. Highs in the 70s and 80s, not feeling like October at all, and that fire danger continues. For the valley tonight, we'll have lows in the 50s and 60s. Highs tomorrow just about as hot as they were today. Lower 90s again. Our average high in Redding this time of year is 80. For the Chico area, we'll have mainly 60s for overnight lows, highs in the upper 80s and lower 90s for your Thursday. The wind continues a little bit weaker tomorrow, but not much. The next 7 days in Chico, we'll have a gradual cooling trend after Friday, but even when we get to Wednesday of next week, it's still going to be at or above average. More breezes developing too. And for Redding, lower 90s tomorrow through Saturday, 80s after that, but each and every one of those days is still above average.
All right, thanks, Jason.